Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Saturday, March 21st, the day of the week that we turn our clocks back to UK time. It's even an hour earlier there than usual. How about that, friends? You got it 9 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. On that note, before we get going, let's go ahead and welcome in our audience and see who the heck we have out there from our international audience. Let's welcome in Brown Land Cruisers out there. Ron and Brennan, England's in the chat. Good to see you, my friend. We got Eliza Teal, Enoch. Good to see you, my friend. Firefly is out there along with Geraldine Durazio. We got Ghost Fixer and JJ. John is out there along with Kane Northrup. Good to see you, Kelly Bro, with those piercing blue eyes, my dear lady. Appreciate being out here every show. Kipper's out there along with King Bull. We got Liberty all the way from the UK, who kind of cued us in on some things happening over at the UK air bases where the U.S. military's at. So let's welcome in then, who else? We have the Louise Q. Good to see you, Louise. We got Maritimes. Matt Ramon, good to see you, Matt. Long time no see. Mystery Melissa's out there along with Neurostreams. Prism Films. We got Push King, Roni Deal, Rich Buddy. Good to see you, Rich. Sam's out there along with Scooby Dooby Gooby. All right, we got Steve Hines, the Super Unknown. The Damon is out there. All is Paul Damon. Good to see you, Paul. We got Woodrow Smith, 42B, and of course, Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy. How about that? Yeah, I was a little late getting the stuff together. OBS was being finicky. But we're past it. It should still be running for good. We've got a great conversation to have here tonight. And who do we have up in the back right now? It's not yet Mike, but we've got, he's fixing the refrigerator, but he is around. We've got Andy all the way from the United Kingdom. How's it going, Andy?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yeah, not too bad. I'm in the sort of library, fake library. Don't want to see the washing drying on the dryer behind me.
Exactly.
Wonder of small English houses, I'm afraid.
Yeah. But before we get going on this and talking about what's, happening in the United Kingdom and the United States with these drones, is you saw one the other day out of place.
Yeah. I work, well, as many of you know, I work a lot of nights, and I was going out to I take my break in my car. And I was walking out to it about 3:20 in the morning, and I saw a set of lights in the sky, and I thought, I know there's a flight path from aircraft, but it was flashing red and green. And I thought, okay. And then watched it for a minute or two more, and it seemed to move, and then it dropped straight down to the ground. So I know there's a local park, but I think this was a hobby drone.
But it's a hobby drone at like 3:30 in the morning, though.
Yeah. And it's this park that it landed in is about less than a quarter of a mile away from, I think, the biggest Ministry of Defence establishment in the United Kingdom. So... But I didn't see it fly anywhere in the vicinity. I've worked a very long time, and I live in the area I work, so I know roughly which direction I'm looking at different things.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I don't believe it flew anywhere over there, and it's purely an office building anyway. So even if they flew a drone over there, they're not going to see anything. No, it's not like it's a military base or anything like that. So, but it was just really strange at that time of morning. Yeah.
Well, it's the first time you've seen something at that time in the morning. That's why you brought it up. I guess it goes to the old saying, if you see something, say something.
Yeah. I know we have now laws in the UK about drone flying, that you have to own a license, basically, to be able to fly a drone.
Right.
So whether it was somebody unlicensed flying one, I don't know. And also the worry is around here is there are flight paths all over for our local airport as well. So, if this drone goes up high enough, is it, because they're quite low when they come over these planes, about 400 feet, I would think. So, if it goes up too high.
Absolutely.
We touch on the air safety risk again. So, just something a bit different.
Oh, definitely. And I think it was I know we had Liberty Wings in the chat, and he was mentioning that there was an issue going on with, is it Fairford? I believe.
I believe, yeah, Fairford, which is
Right.
unfortunately about an hour's drive from me, or else I would have gone
Right.
another.
But they've now
Obviously,
recently had, as of like yesterday, it sounds like, they've had bombers coming into land from operations that are going on over in Iran right now, and drones are getting in the way.
Yeah, well,
and preventing
Liberty,
them
I've just
from
seen Daryl.
actually landing.
Hi, Daryl up there. He's just said at Mildenhall as well, which is over the other side of the country from me, where Daryl's based. So Liberty. So yeah, it looks like this could be all to do with all of this that's going on at the moment. We've got at Fairford, they're flying, I think the B-52s, they've got B-1s there. I know they've had the U-2 spy planes in and out. So whether it's anything to do with that. And also we had, I believe it might have been yesterday or Thursday, there were a couple of individuals who were arrested. They were trying to gain entry to our nuclear submarine base.
Wow.
One of these people was an Iranian, and the other one was a Romanian, I believe, a man and a woman.
Interesting. So trying to gain access to your nuclear site, that's not a good thing.
No, yeah. Sites like that, again, they're probably, they are carrying, you have armed guards there. It's one way to get yourself riddled with holes, I guess. Yeah, you don't go messing with places like that. So yeah, I don't know. They were obviously trying to spy, or I don't know if they were intent on carrying some sort of terrorist act. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, anytime anyone tries to get into a nuclear, if you want to call it a nuclear site, and they're not invited and they're trying to break their way in, it's usually not for something good.
Well, yeah. As with, you're not going to walk into your military bases and expect to gain entry, if you're not meant to be in there. So it's same here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's crazy things going on as stuff goes on. But, let's get to this clip talking about what's been going on in the United States, and we'll talk with the panel about in the audience about where this is and unfortunately where it looks like it's headed. So let's get this first video up here and let's play it. Let's get to it. All right, here we go.
Mystery drones over a major U.S. military base in Louisiana. Waves of high-tech drones flying over the highly sensitive area. That base housing B-52 bombers and the Air Force's nuclear command. So who's behind the drones? Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, law enforcement officials are warning of a significant threat to public safety and national security after swarms of high-tech drones invaded the airspace over one of the nation's most strategic military installations for nearly a week. A confidential briefing document reviewed by ABC News said earlier this month, multiple waves of 12 to 15 drones flew for hours at a time over sensitive areas of Barksdale Air Force Base near Shreveport, Louisiana, home of B-52 bombers and the Air Force's nuclear command.
And the Air Force was not able to do anything to stop them.
The drones operated in loose formations, then dispersed across sensitive locations on the base, and they're unlike anything available off the shelf. The document said these drones have a much longer range and are resistant to jamming.
The sophistication we see in both how the drones were employed and the kinds of drones don't point to some hobbyist. They point to a state actor.
Barksdale Air Force Base confirmed to ABC News it is investigating multiple unauthorized drones operating in our airspace during the week of March 9th, not long after the start of the war with Iran.
The analysis we reviewed, David, said these still unexplained
it started on March 9th, but it's still going on today. Let me continue.
incursions are expected to continue, and law enforcement officials, David, have long expressed concerns about the country's ability to defend itself from drones. David?
And our team will stay on this too. Aaron, thank you.
There we go, folks. It's there. It's out there. The conversation has been set. Mike, are you still with us?
Yes, sir.
All right. We're talking about this earlier today with regards to the situation. Now, there was a law put in place. Those actually came from Kirsten Gillibrand.
Right.
To go ahead and allow military bases, if they are military bases, military operations, our ships, etc., if they are, have drones illegally coming to their airspace, we can legally shoot these things down.
Correct. And then, if you heard what they said, it's these incursions that are swarming, like when we covered the drone plot in New Jersey,
Right.
they're doing it regularly. There's large amounts of them, 12 to 15. They are over nuclear restricted airspace over a military base in Louisiana.
Well, think about this one, though. This base houses our B-52s, the ones we don't have deployed right now. Plus, it has, though, that white jet that flies around for continuity of government in case a nuclear war ever happens. You know, these are sensitive locations. And not just that, you got to remember, Marco Rubio lives on that base, and so does Pete Hegseth, two top people in the Trump administration. So something's happening.
Yeah. But wait, there's more. They identified these objects not as hobby drones, but as advanced drones that are resistant to any type of attempt to bring them down with jamming technology. Yeah. And that more than likely, we have a state agency that are operating them. So there's a foreign adversary that is here in the continental United States, overwhelming our restricted military bases, and what? The government doesn't take that as a threat to national security or try to shoot these things down over these bases? I don't get that. I've been talking
about the drones that we've been seeing on the East Coast being hardened, meaning that they have shielding internally, they have shielding externally with different ways to protect the operations of the devices for what they're actually doing. Because you got to look at it, the technology we have in drones, these things don't necessarily have to have an operator on one end. They could be running partially or full time on AI for the missions that they're going through. So, you know, a lot of times we're trying to shoot them down and interrupt the operator. But if it's an operator that's not there and they're hardened to prevent it, how is it going to stop it? It can't.
So you could use kinetic weapons, which they've been authorized to use to bring these objects down. But my question to you is, what foreign adversary would have the balls to do this on a regular basis with this type of equipment? What, they know that we're not going to do anything about it? What do you think is going on here? How are they getting away with this?
I would probably say it's China.
I would agree with that. It more than likely is China, because they have a lot of experience in running through the continental United States and doing really whatever the hell they want. Yeah. And knowing they're not going to be interfered with, and so far they haven't. Now we also know they have close ties with Iran. So they're friends with Iran, and during this conflict right now, they could either be doing reconnaissance to see if there's going to be troop movements headed out from the continental United States over to the Iran war front. Whatever it is, I think the likely culprit is more than likely China. Here's the other problem with that. It's a double-edged sword. If we were to take action against these Chinese drones, Trump may be afraid that it might cause a problem between him and Xi Jinping, and doesn't want to rock the boat with China.
This is an invasion of U.S. sovereign territory. Not only that, it's a invasion of a very critical national security location in the United States, one of the highest ones, right? Got to be realistic about this. So to say we're not going to say anything to Xi Jinping because we don't want to upset him, I don't think that's the president we have right now.
Well, look, the previous president that had Weekend at Bernie's going on, Weekend at Biden's, when the Chinese drone was flying over the continental United States, at one point, even Biden said, shoot it fucking down. And we did. So this president not taking any action against what's obviously a foreign adversary that's invading.
Well, he said shoot down the stuff that were the ones that hit Dead Horse, Alaska, the Yukon. The next one appeared over... one of our Air Force bases where we have, what was the one from Bob Salas again, Mike?
Oh, Malmstrom Air Force Base.
Malmstrom Air Force Base, and then we finally tracked that one and shot it down over Lake Huron.
Right. So, as asleep at the switch as Biden was, he was a little bit trigger happy when it concerned these incursions. Good for him.
And they took care of it. They brought the stuff down, and we had his administration his national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, going ahead and saying that they were going to get, if you want to call it, the information on the drones. They were going to find it and bring it out to the American people, and they never did. Plus, well, don't forget, we had to clamp down on any kind of disclosure coming out of the executive branch and in pretty much the whole federal government at that point. That also happened during the Biden administration. So Biden administration was not about transparency, unfortunately.
No.
And we did have all those drones that were over the East Coast before President Reagan was sworn in. That, again, our military, our Homeland Security did absolutely nothing to protect the homeland unless those were our drones and we were looking for a lost nuke. You never know.
Well, I can assure you that what's going on right now in Louisiana, that's not our drones. It's not.
These aren't our. The stuff that's going on right now on the East Coast, that's not our drones either. Why would we be sending drones in to disrupt activities at such a critical nuclear location?
We never would. It's illogical. And it's definitely not us. But my question again goes back to, why isn't the current administration taking this as a very serious national security threat and taking action against it? It's here in our own backyard. There's no reaction. That's completely ridiculous to me. Doesn't make any logical sense. You have an invader. No, you have hostile action going on. This is something that is disruptive. It is something that we don't want foreign adversaries to have access to the information. Do something about it. Shoot the fucking things down. I mean, just don't let it do whatever it wants and continue doing it. Doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know what's going on. It's odd.
It seems like, we're hand shackled for a reason and they're paralyzed. It's like, what do you call it? Deer's eyes in the headlights. You know what I mean? We're just frozen. Yes. We watch this stuff, but we don't do anything about it.
Do you think it's fear or do you think it's something more political? I don't think we're afraid.
I think it's
I've seen what we've been doing.
Lack of clear leadership or direction to leadership of what they should be doing when this goes on. Our military should be prepared for any kind of an action that goes on. And to act like, oh my God, what should we do when these things come in? They should know exactly what they're supposed to do. They should be having drills on exactly what they're supposed to do, It's
actually a matter of law now. And they're authorized. So they can take action. It's odd that they're not. And as far as our military is concerned, with all the activity that went on in Venezuela and over now in Iran, we know they can kick ass when they want to. It's just for some reason that here in the continent of the United States, they're doing nothing.
But have we kicked ass? Have we shot down drones like this in the past? I mean, I'm not aware of that. Maybe we have. I mean, a lot of the different drones we've been dealing with over, in the Middle East have been suicide drones that come in and blow things up like missiles. But as far as drones that are moving in for intelligence or, intelligence or counterintelligence gathering of what our enemy is doing, what our enemy is looking to see what we're up to, either that or just to interrupt the operations like what's going on at Mildenhall in the United Kingdom, where they're preventing our big bombers from coming in and landing effectively.
Sky.
We lost you. We lost you after you said, and they should be. You went silent for a second, Mike.
Okay, yeah, the signal is going in and out. No, what I was saying is that we should be taking action overseas and here in the continental United States when we have objects like this that are interfering with us, take them out, and they're not. And I can't explain why they're not. We know they could physically take these things down if they had to. They're not impervious. They're not UAP. So they're prosaic. Take them down.
Yeah.
Unless we have some really big national security or defense flaw that we're unable to do that. But again, that's something that should still be addressed, don't you think?
Absolutely. Now, you brought up about Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana. Right. Let's bring up a post from one of our OSINT.
Yeah.
People we follow over on X. So Barksdale Air Force Base in Shreveport, Louisiana, has confirmed at ABC News that during the week of 9/15, this week, folks, of March, several waves of multiple drones were spotted over the base that hosts nuclear-capable B-52H Stratoforces. The statement goes to say security forces observed multiple waves of 12 to 15 drones operating over sensitive areas of the installation, including the flight line, with aircraft displaying non-commercial signature characteristics, long-range control links, and resistance to jamming.
Right, and we also know that with these B-52s exposed on the flight line, if any of these drones wanted to fly into them and destroy them, they could easily. So why would we just sit there and let them do it?
Yeah. And here's the story that I was bringing up earlier. Okay, so this is officials spot unidentified drones above Fort Leslie J. McNair, home to both Rubio and Hedgeseth. So it's multiple bases.
Right. And we're doing nothing about this? Why? Why is there no response? We know the law is in place that authorizes them to shoot these things out of the sky.
Why is there no training? Why is there no follow through? We've trained for it. We've prepared for it. We have the weaponry to go ahead and take care of it down. But they're like, oh no, what are we going to do?
Right. The security staff on the base can take a 12-gauge shotgun with buckshot and just shoot these things out of the sky. Yeah. Why is nobody doing that?
Shotgun, rifle, whatever they have, they don't need to do it with necessarily machine gun, just something with a sniper and take them out. Shouldn't be too hard.
It shouldn't be hard at all.
Even with the 50 millimeter, shouldn't be too hard.
No, they should be able to take these things right out.
Exactly.
Like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yep.
And they're not doing it. I think answers need to come forward. I think people should be pressing them as to why this is allowed to continue.
Yeah. Alice, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you. I just tuned in, so I haven't heard everything, but it strikes me that possibly if they are ET, maybe they're protecting us from further war.
I don't think these are ET. They're not showing anything non-prosaic, meaning they're acting like human manufactured drones that are, hardened in their capabilities, but nothing to said any of these things would be anything close to ET.
I see your thumbnail with the different colored lights. Are they actually showing the aviation lights?
No, though that was just a picture I got. They said they're not showing aviation standard lights in the news pressing brief or thing. That was a picture I had gotten and was able to go ahead and use for the title card. But no, they're not using standard aviation lights.
Are they? Do they have sound? Are they like the drones that were mystery drones before, or are these more like with noise and everything?
They
called them state-operated hardened drones. They're advanced drones, so we identified it. We know what they are, and if they are standard prosaic drones, they're going to definitely make noise.
Yeah,
they're not hiding.
So you think they're stopping our? You think it's another country or somebody stopping us from getting up in the air? Is that what you're saying?
No, they believe it's a foreign adversary, a state agency operating them. That's what they say.
Okay. All right. And you're saying, why don't we just take them down?
We're authorized. Take them the hell down.
If these craft were showing signs of duplication or invisibility or, moving, hovering in place without any signs or sounds of propulsion or such, then in that particular case, we might think that what we're dealing with, or instantaneous acceleration, then we would think what we're dealing with is potentially non-human intelligence. But when we have standard drones driving, big ones, but they're flying around and they're evading our simple methods for taking it down with a microwave transmitter. And if that doesn't work, if we were to go ahead and start hitting these things with hardened, with weapons like a 50 millimeter mic, or Alice,
yes,
and the bullets bounce off these things and have no effect, then that might raise some questions and speculation of, well, we know it isn't this now because of what we've tried.
So, like I said, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say then, Thomas, the next question would be if it is a foreign adversary that's operating within the continental United States over restricted airspaces, where the hell are they coming from? They're not flying in from China. They have to be located in the vicinity, in the area. or close whereabouts. They're not flying all the way in here from China. No way. So why are they
international
not looking into
waters.
it? Right. Well, that's still not close by. How are we not able to track and see where they're coming from? We should be able to, especially over the homeland.
Some kind of stealth technology, maybe.
Well, not even stealth. I mean, honestly, Alice, if you just go ahead and fly close enough to the ground, you evade all radar detection.
Oh, and drones can do that.
Yeah, of
They
course.
can,
Gotcha.
especially if it's like under 100 feet. Radar isn't going to pick it up.
So you guys know a lot more than I do about political and the world. Where do you think something like this could have come from? I mean, China, Russia,
China.
that's what you're
Well,
thinking?
that's a good question because I'll put up a poll for our audience, folks. All right. Okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
All right, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Starting now.
All right, let's see where our audience takes us on this one. Well, if you look at that, Mike, already we have 50% of our audience saying that it's something other. I guess we're going to have to do a follow-up to define what other means. They're not saying it's China. They're saying it's, well, China above and by far. Leagues above Iran, leagues above Russia. It's in the second spot behind other. We have to figure out what the audience means by other, because we've got 2/3 of the audience close to it is saying other.
Well,
Okay.
if you think
well,
it's China, doesn't that mean that they are totally militarily superior to us at this point to be able to just come over these bases?
Well, they have a technology that we're not reacting on. So are they totally superior to us in everything that we have? No. May they have some drones or something that they've created that are hardened and can do get through situations we didn't think they could? Have we underestimated them? Probably. Whoever it is.
What do you think their purpose is, though? Do you have any idea?
Intelligence gathering.
Yeah.
Just surveillance. Okay.
Surveillance and intelligence gathering. All right, with just 10 seconds left, folks, get it in, but I don't think nothing's going to move that needle at all. 59%, 60% of our audience is saying that, well, it's something other. So that means I am going to go into a bonus round on this one. Let me end this poll here. I just finished that one, and I'm going to create one more poll for the audience to see where we go. Start a poll.
Well, they obviously think it's UAP. So in the poll, you could say UAP or prosaic advanced drones. And see what the audience says. I have a feeling it's going to swing into the UAP area, even though you pointed out they are not exhibiting any of the 5 observables. They are not putting out there anything that would make it stand out from prosaic advanced drone technology. So let's see what the audience says.
All right. Forget the capitals. I went crazy. All right, audience, here you go. This week's drone incursions are from either UAP, UFOs, aliens, NHI, or humans. Wow. Look at that. We are split.
I would vote for human. They've already established that.
Yeah, but more than not, Mike, we've got it, 60-40. There's a good percentage spread there. It's not, if you want to call it, neck and neck. There's a clear lead for people pointing out that it's humans and not UFO UAPs. So,
right. But the people, the 40% that think it might be UAP, I think it's mostly wishful thinking on their parts, not reality.
All right. So some people want to think that the drones that are invading our air bases are from the United States.
That's an interesting point.
Mm-hmm. But why would we do that? Doesn't make sense.
No. We know exactly what's going on in those bases. We don't need to do that.
Yep. With 20 seconds left, let's see where this goes. What else? I'm just trying to look for what we've got going on here. Is there anything else breaking? There's nothing else breaking with drones out there, Mike.
Well, this, I think, is more than enough.
Yeah.
Because the simple fact is that other than the drone flap, we haven't had activity like this in a long time.
Yep.
So, and this is going on every day now. in swarms
Right.
at these places. So
Since
that's
March
pretty
9th,
serious.
between March 9th, they've had 12 to 15 drones a night coming in a group and then dispersing for whatever they're going. They couldn't be jammed. They couldn't be brought down. Operations at these bases had to be paused. Authorities don't know who sent them. Someone's literally testing the locks on the door, but we're not doing anything about it. That's the problem. All right, let's go ahead and bring a close to this poll. Our audience is clearly saying it's humans. Interesting. So we've got 2 surveys that we've put up so far. Which country is behind the drones? And are the drones from humans or aliens? So overwhelmingly, our audience thinks it's other, and that it's humans involved. So audience, in the chat, let me make sure the chat is up there. What say you? Who do you think it's from? Because had a bunch of options. Let's see if they say aliens on spring break, billionaire drones like Jeff Bezos. Oh, it's the Bledsoe Easter prediction that it didn't happen. Schumer drones. Okay, our audience is having fun. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at on that, Mike. It's we're not sure where it is, where they're coming from, other than they're making themselves know, and they're being pesky like mosquitoes flying around. We're trying to swat at, but we have absolutely no luck whatsoever.
Right, which is unusual, strange, not normal. And even though this country is now on high military alert because of the conflict going on in Iran, why are we sitting on our ass and not doing anything about it? Very odd, very strange. Doesn't make any sense.
Again, it's
really
like a deer.
doesn't.
It's like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah, but we're talking about the military. They should be able to deal with anything that comes their way.
Yeah. Now, here's a quick quote on this coming from Tyler Rogoway, who's actually over from the war zone. He's been reporting them for years. Over 5 years I've been following him. He said, I spent a good part of my career getting people to believe this was actually happening. We are now here with 15 drones. You can lose roughly 1/4 of the B-52 force as it sits idle on the ground. This was always a concerning scenario. Time to move to hardening. Just a matter of time now until we learn the hard way. Yes, if they were to come in with a big swarm of these drones, Mike, and they were armed, they could take out 1/4 of our B-52s right now, and we have no way to stop them.
They don't have to be armed. They drive those drones into those 60-year-old aircraft. They will take them out.
Armed with explosives, so there's a kaboom. Earth-shattering kaboom. You need to have the kaboom. Otherwise, they'll just damage the fuselage, potentially. But if you really want to cause damage, you blow things up.
There's fuel on board those aircraft.
Yeah, you hit them in the right spot, in the wings.
And they'll go up.
Yeah. You hit it with some explosive in those spots, kaboom.
And I could tell you that we're not rebuilding new B-52s.
Well, we don't have to yet. Yet. Alice, your hand is up again?
Yeah. I was thinking the drones, are they covering bases that are instrumental in the conflict with Iran right now?
Well, they've got the one base that handles our B-52s. Luckily, we have them all across, a lot of them overseas in the United Kingdom, and the base at Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. Not all of them. We have some here, probably at this location.
And just a thing, if it was China and they were above a majority of our B-52s, I think they might take them out rather than just observe.
Well, if you're going to go and do a big swarm of drones coming in, you poke the hornet's nest a couple times to learn what happens with the hornet's nest, right? That's your intelligence gathering. That's what you do before you do a full onslaught.
But didn't they, we had all these drones in the United States over a year ago. Are you thinking that was China also? Wouldn't that be the first?
Now, what was
something
going on
different.
on the East Coast of the United States over civilian territories and such, and granted they did get in the way of some airports and different things when it was operating, I would honestly say those were our drones, at least in my personal opinion, those were our drones. We were looking for a broken arrow, also known as a lost nuke.
Okay. And in the conflict with Iran, would the B-52s be used? Would that be our major plane that we would use in that conflict? If
We're using it
to
now.
We've been using them already, Alice.
Okay.
They've
I'm
been
sorry.
carpet bombing Iran.
That's
I'm not
okay.
up on
Don't
that
need to
kind of stuff.
apologize. Yeah, that's fine.
So, obviously, yeah, I see. Is China in league with Iran?
Yes.
They are. Okay.
Yes. And they've been providing, if you want to call it, they've been providing intelligence. Both China and Russia have been providing intelligence as far as where our bases are, where our military installations are, et cetera, for radar, you name it. All of that stuff has been being passed back to Iran from China and Russia, and there's satellites up in the sky. There's no way to stop it.
Oh, and not only that, but China has also provided to Iran all of the air defense weaponry that they were protecting their country with.
But they didn't
And
work.
the U.S. military cut through all that Chinese technology like a hot knife through butter.
Right.
And the UK bases, is the UK, are they considering being involved in the Iranian conflict with us?
Oh, God.
It's like reading the terms and conditions from a lawyer. It's yes or no, et cetera. They're not going out there and, if you want to call it, confirming it or denying it. They're just waffling at this point.
I'm wondering because
They're paralyzed.
as I see on the thumbnail is that they are over UK bases.
Yeah.
Are they over UK bases with equivalents to B-52s?
Yep. That's where Mildenhall were the B-52s and probably our B-2 Spirits and B-2 bombers land as well. And
Are they
refuel and
keeping
get
them from
maintenance and
getting in
everything.
air? Are the drones keeping the planes from getting up in the air?
Oh, they're preventing them from landing.
From landing?
From landing, yes. They're coming back after their operation and they want to go and land, but they can't land because they're being blocked.
Where do they go? Do you know?
They circle. There's nowhere else to go. They need a long runway. A really one. Or yeah, I guess they go to Fairford then. If they can't get to Mildenhall, they'll go to Fairford. Thank you, hypersonic monkey brains.
Would they be able to, are they refueling and everything at these bases?
Yep.
And then
Well, they're
going back up?
refueling, doing any necessary maintenance. They're reloading them up again. So there's a bunch of things that they're all doing. It's kind of like their forward operations base, meaning they're based out of the United States. They now have an FOB that's in Mildenhall or Fairford that they're operating from to go ahead and do their strikes. And when they're done with the strikes, they go back to the FOB, get reloaded, do any maintenance on the craft, refuel them, turn them around, and send them out again. It's a big, constant sortie that's going on.
So the drones that are peaceful at this moment are hindering the war.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. That might be a good thing.
Good thing or bad thing, either way. I wouldn't call interrupting our operations and potentially putting the lives of our airmen at risk and our expensive equipment. So, it's Kyle, your hand is up.
This sounds a lot like the situation in Russia last year, where Ukraine bombed, used drones against a bunch of the Russian heavy bombers.
Yeah.
That had to be visible under the new Strategic Arms Treaty.
Now, this is a shot I've got here really quick of the military base. You can see the Capitol in the background. And on this military base is where Pete Hegseth and Marco Rubio are living. So they're right close to downtown D.C. But again, the drones are coming in that close to our nation's capital, and we're not doing anything.
I'd say the whole area is geofenced.
Geofenced? What do you mean?
Like for drones. Like you could, okay, if you go to Walmart and you...
Yeah, of course. It would be right. There would be a geofence up that particular location, a polygon-shaped geofence that would prevent you from going over the borders for that particular location if you have a consumer-based drone. But they've said these aren't consumer-based drones like you get at Walmart or wherever.
Yeah, they're more like they're programmed.
Right.
So they would need GPS to some degree or some programming, But this just sounds an awful lot like the situation in Ukraine, where they went after the Russian bombers.
Yeah, true. But a lot of the different drones we see that are going in Ukraine right now are all first-person drones that are operated with fiber optics. So a bit different, but same concept.
Yep.
All right, what else we have going on? So even Ross Coldhart's getting into this. These so-called drones are back. In fact, he's saying they never left. Multiple waves of unauthorized drones recently spotted over strategic U.S. Air Force. Yeah, everybody's talking about it, concerned about what they could possibly do. And, is it coming from Iran? Doesn't look like it. Are we using great laser systems to go ahead and protect our bases? Not a chance in hell. They've got it out there for those moments. But, Mike, this is just a flaw and a hole in our homeland defense.
Well, I'll go one step better. The foreign adversary that's operating these advanced drones, they wouldn't take the risk. And we made the same point during the drone incursion over New Jersey. They wouldn't take a gamble of putting an object over the continental United States if they thought there was a chance in hell that it might get shot down and recovered, because then it would lead right back to them and they would be in a state of war with the United States. But these drones, then and now, seem to be operating with complete impunity and have no fear of being taken down whatsoever. That, I think, is also revealing.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree. There's a lot of revealing things, taking a look at this from different perspectives. Talking about different perspectives, we have a longtime friend of the channel, Steve Barone from Anomalous Vegas, where you cover a lot of anomalous things slowly moving through the Vegas nights that are beg to be explained. What is your thoughts? You might have. Yes, sir.
Oh, good. You can hear me. I'm new to using this feature here. Listen, man, I've been filming luminous white orbs for almost 11 years, almost daily here.
Yep.
And they are coming and going from Nellis Air Force Base out into the Mojave Desert between Nellis and Area 51. And if I could get anybody to help me or want to even report this, I have literally 11 years or hundreds of videos of these luminous white orbs. They can materialize out of thin air. They can do whatever they want. And, I've been trying to get a hold of you because I want to give you some music. It's called They Kick the Can Down the Road. That's a music I made using AI technology. But yeah. They've been coming to Las Vegas for more than 80 years, and it all got started with nukes.
Yeah.
And
it is a party town, and this the city,
they can't get rid of those drones within 5 minutes. We're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it is the city that never sleeps, and apparently, it's so good that it even pulls some non-human intelligence to come out and throw some money on the table, maybe. Although we'd probably lose. Yeah. I've been watching your videos for years, Steve. You're on target with what you're talking about. There's a lot of stuff out in the sky that we just don't deal with. But your thoughts on this? We got the military, these high-risk military bases that are out there, some close to the capital, some down in Louisiana, where these drones are coming in without impunity. It seems like it's incompetency, or would you agree or disagree that it's incompetency that's preventing us from actually taking these things out of the ground if they are prosaic in nature?
if you're asking me, I would just say that they've been here long enough where they have everything they need to be in charge, even though it may not look like they're in charge. I mean, imagine what would happen if this got out, that the Air Force is in cahoots with these white luminous orbs that can do just about anything. I have sent out literally dozens of eloquent letters asking for help, and I have never received even one reply. I've been stuck at 20,000 subscribers for years.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being shadow banned, but you can come and look at my channel now. It's themed. It's all themed. It began at the beginning of the nuclear age, and it's still going. They have never left.
There's no reason for it to stop, because things haven't changed from our sides. Definitely.
Yeah, it's just frustrating when I hear drones. I mean, you just saw what we did to Iran in one day. Imagine what we could do to a bunch of dumb little drones.
Bingo. Why don't we have any of the weaponry to protect our bases, to protect the homeland? You know, I guess Homeland Security is busy with other things right now, and they've given all the responsibilities of Homeland Security to the Department of Defense, but it seems that the Department of Defense is incompetent in their ability to go ahead and protect these bases from drones that don't belong there.
Yeah, I
mean, like calling up the National Guard, having them send in attack helicopters or jets to take these objects out, but they don't seem to be doing that either, Thomas.
Yeah.
Or Steve.
If it's an important base like that has all of our nuclear bombers, why don't we have a Patriot system there, Mike? Granted, it'd be expensive as hell to go ahead and fire it off, but considering the loss we would have if we would lose that equipment, holy shit, it's worth it.
You know, Thomas, if you got everybody talking about drones, then you don't have them talking about the real thing and the real problem.
Yeah. We're just talking about the select incidents that are happening now at a couple military bases. One that houses Pete Hegseth, who's our Secretary of Defense, and Marco Rubio, who's our, what do you call it?
Head of the National Archives, National Security Council advisor, and Director
Secretary of State.
State Department. Yeah.
And he's the Secretary of State as well. They both live there. The other one is at the base where we house all of our B-52s. At least a quarter of them. And if an attack came in and that happened, it could take out 25% of our B-52s.
That we can't replace.
No.
Nellis Air Force Base is housing as many as 900 nuclear warheads. They still have them. They had as many as 1,500 not too long ago.
They have 900 there? Holy cow. I thought, we've got a base up here on Bangor Island, which is a Trident nuclear missile base for our subs. And we've had about between 1,200 and 1,500 at that location for a long period of time as well. I didn't realize they had that much in Nellis.
Yeah, it drives me crazy, man. I've been doing this for 11 years. I've spent thousands of dollars on equipment and all the things I use to do this. And what I'm running into, I was invited to be on News Nation with Chris Cuomo.
Yeah.
I got on there, and once they saw what I had, they made sure that the panel kept one guy blabbing the whole time, and I never got to say a damn word. They don't want to show my videos because it's not just a Tic Tac, a gimbal, or whatever.
But why did they bring you out in the first place then?
Things over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I have videos of these things flying along in formation in evenly spaced, where one of them decides to just show up a little bit and start doing, circles while still being in formation. It's absolutely amazing, and I cannot get anywhere with it anymore. I'm surprised they haven't knocked me off.
I don't think they'll knock you off. It's kind of like there's a video that I go ahead and play. We played it again last night. Sorry about the ads and last night's reruns, my friends. We play a video of DNI Ratcliffe, the Director of National Intelligence, talking about what they tried to do at the end of the Trump administration, how they were trying to bring disclosure forward, the information that they had, where they're seeing the satellites and everything. I mean, the UFOs from satellites on the ground, and just blew away Maria Bartiromo, who's the host of that episode on Fox News. But every single time I play that video, I lose control to turn off the ads, and I get demonetized for a number of days. So I'm getting like spanked every single time I play that important clip, because somehow YouTube allows some no-name company to go ahead and issue a copyright against a public news broadcast. It doesn't make sense. We get penalized for trying to bring out the truth. I get that.
Yeah,
Steve.
Definitely so.
Yeah. All right. So if you don't mind, great conversation. I appreciate you stopping in. I want to go ahead and jump over to our next piece. We had Bill Maher last night, where he had Anna Polina Luna going ahead and talking with regards to, how do you put this, Mike? With regards to the new Aliens.Gov website, potentially where the information can go, the types of information we may be able to expect, who we can expect it from. It was in the Bill Maher overtime. Now, I can't play that normally, unfortunately, but I have an ability to go ahead and play it where I've got it down. It's going to be a screen grab every so many seconds. Let me get into there right now and turn off. I have to, where is it at? Time frame with the video. There we go.
But we'll play the audio normal speed and just...
Audio will be normal speed and everything for it. So let me go ahead, and I've got this, and it's flipping the image horizontally, of course, is another step. Let me just get to one more thing here for the filters. Turn that up a bit more of how slow it's going to be. So let's play this clip, and we will talk about it. And let me make sure I've got the right one in here. Frame limited video is turned on. All right, here we go, folks. Let's get into it.
First question is for you. Do you think we are headed, Congresswoman, for a full disclosure and transparency about UAPs, which we used to call UFOs? I do. I mean, I think...
Oh, shit. Sorry about the poll music.
Didn't they start a website for releasing this information?
From my understanding, they're going to put it on the National Archives, but if they've booked the website... So I actually head up the Disclosure Task Force in Congress on declassification of federal secrets. And what I will tell you is...
That's why you know so much stuff.
I'm a nerd.
There we go.
In all seriousness, there's some things that we can't explain. And there is a problem with overclassification, but also when you have duly elected members of Congress being denied access, that's a problem, because we're supposed to be the, check and balance on some of these agencies. And so you'll see some interesting stuff. The federal government will never come out and tell you what to believe.
I think they're here.
Well, there's definitely stuff that we can't explain.
I'm not shy about it.
No, Mike, really quick, I want to bring this up. You mentioned this before the show started, that Bill Maher, for the longest time, had been completely against the concept that there is aliens or non-human intelligence here.
Yeah, he thought anybody that was an advocate of that was a tinfoil hat wearing crazy for many years. But something changed from then to now, because now he's wholeheartedly on board with this.
Well, Matt Ford is his lighting guy.
He is.
Or his lighting director, I should say.
Mm-hmm. So they obviously talk. And he got information probably from Matt. And he believes now the same thing that we do, because I guess it's a overwhelming argument with the evidence. And he understands that. He's very well-read, Bill Maher, and very intellectual. So he takes new information and he processes it. And this is his determination, that they're real, they're here with us, and they've probably been here a very long time.
Yep. Absolutely. Let's play some more. Here we go.
Life on Earth. So I'll be I'm not into
that. Line of
the government will never come out and tell you what to believe.
I think they're here.
Well, there's definitely stuff that we can't explain.
I'm not
I'm
shy
still
about
searching
it.
for intelligent life on Earth. So I'll be I'm not into that.
Well,
I think we're in a big universe.
You may not be into that, but they're into you. Okay. I mean, whether you want to believe it or not, things.
Why do they always put the probes there? Well, if they're that sophisticated, can't they just like scan us?
But you know, but see, there's okay. But if you want to be serious about it, there was an era where we heard a lot about probing. That ended because I mean, we never heard about any of it before we got nuclear weapons. Right after the nuclear bomb went off in 1945, suddenly the aliens were like, maybe we ought to pay attention to these people.
Well, there were reports of sightings and whatnot dating back into even, you know, for many, 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 many centuries.
If you're talking about some of the stuff like we see in hieroglyphics and drawings,
I think
could be, yes, it could be like they built the pyramids. That's true.
Well, I think that there's a lot of theories, but based on what we're seeing evidence-wise, there is one specific agency where multiple members of Congress, to include myself, received a briefing from. All of that information will be declassified, and the stuff that we saw in that briefing we can't explain.
So, Mike, what she's saying here, just to be clear to the audience, if they didn't pick this up, that the agency she's talking about is the FBI.
It is.
And all the information that the FBI has gathered is going to be declassified. Now, I would think that based on Trump's statement saying the executive branch, everyone needs to bring forward the truth, that should include the CIA. It should include the Department of Energy.
It should.
It should.
Yes, because it's all branches of the government. But we're not going to get that. She just
and the
told us.
DOD, everybody.
Everybody. Department of Energy, Department of Defense, everybody. But we're not going to get that. She just confirmed it. We're going to get what the FBI has been investigating and declassifying that information.
Yeah, which is nothing small, because they said if any senator goes ahead and watches this, their mind will be blown away from the information that the FBI has been able to dig up.
Well, we know, because we covered this back then, that one day when the UAP caucus, members in Congress, had two meetings scheduled, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. The first meeting was with Arrow, when I think Tim Phillips was running the show. And then they went to the FBI, and when Matt Laszlo talked to these members of Congress, they said that Arrow gave them nothing. Absolutely no information other than what's already known, and it was a waste of everybody's time. But that being said, when they went to meet with the FBI in the afternoon, they said they got more information from the FBI on this subject and what they investigated than they've ever gotten out of Arrow, and including new videos and new information that they didn't know existed until they had that meeting with the FBI and the special FBI X-Files unit.
Right. And that's why they were saying they were upset, because the information we're able to get from the FBI completely blows away the information they've gotten from Arrow, and they're pointing the finger at Arrow as part of a cover-up.
And then Representative Luna at that time was then preaching to the public, we need to defund Arrow, if you remember.
Yep.
That's where she got that from.
And there is a new organization that's actually been put together in the DOD that's higher up the totem pole that Arrow is, that's trying to go ahead and bring together documents for President Trump to be declassified as well. Now, Luna's only talking about the documents that she knows about coming from
the FBI.
The FBI, but I think there's a there with regards to getting something that's worth something coming out of the DOD. Now, we're not going to get anything about, hey, we took this and we used it to create the skin on the B-2. We're not going to get this saying that we took the technology and we're using it for these military classified reasons. They may give us stuff to acknowledge, yes, they've been around. Yes, they've crashed. Here's the different texts that we've adopted and use in our everyday lives, but it's not going to be much more than that. It's not like they're going to open up their full catalog and tell you everything the military's been doing since the 30s, when they got the initial craft out of the Pope from Italy.
And the plan
Run with it for a second.
For the upcoming disclosure, according to what she told us, is that the declassified files are going to show that the government is aware that there are objects that don't fall into a prosaic area, that are not balloons, not drones, not aircraft. That goes back hundreds of years. But they're not going to tell us what it is. Instead, they're going to say, we can't explain these objects and what we're aware of. We don't know exactly what it is or where it comes from. But this is the declassified files and information we have on it. They're then going to release it to the National Archives and have the public have the ability to see some of these files and footage of what they've cataloged and documented for a long time. But then they're going to put it to the public and they're going to say, you figure it out.
Yeah, Mike, but you know what it comes down to? What they're going to say is, we don't know what this is. But my God, come on. They've been looking at this stuff since the 30s, through the 40s, all the way up until yesterday and today. For them to say, we don't know anything is the biggest lying sack of shit that I could ever be pushed forward. Well, you know, they treat us like fucking mushrooms, feed us bullshit, and keep us in the dark on this. But we need to push more than that because they know what's going on. They know what these things are up to. They know what their capabilities are. But it comes down to them, you know, they're afraid, I guess, to let people know that we're not the masters of the sky. We're not the masters of the earth. We're not the masters of over our land or our waters, over our military bases, because these things are so advanced, there's nothing we can do to stop them. Which basically tells everyone in the government, all the public out there, that our government, with respect to protecting the homeland and those who live there from the non-human intelligence, they can do nothing.
Well, that's something that I don't believe the current administration or the government is anticipating once they actually declassify and release this information publicly. They're not expecting that. They think people will be so fascinated with these reports and these videos that they will be bringing out that they think people will be obsessing with that. What they don't realize is it's going to then open the door for the public to say, hey, wait a second. Don't you take $1 trillion of our hard-earned tax money every year to the military? And you are sitting here telling us that you are well aware that these incidents have been occurring quite regularly for hundreds of years. And to this day, you're telling us you have no idea what it is? Well, you just established it's a national security threat, number one. Number two, by you sitting there scratching your head in your ass saying we have no idea what it is, you tell us, that's telling the public that all the money that we have sent their way is for nothing.
Yep. Really quick, Mike, I want to throw out to our audience, if you're watching the show, you're not a regular here at Disclosure tonight, you're just stopping in, I appreciate it if you could give us a subscribe. And for everyone who's watching the show, if you could give us a thumbs up, we'd appreciate it. It helps the algorithm in YouTube go ahead and share this stuff a little bit more, so more people get interested in what we're doing here. You know, we've been in a blackout for a while. We appreciate your love and support, folks. Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. What the public is then going to be demanding, and I know we will as well, we're going to want to know, why don't they know? It's been long enough. This has been going on forever. How is it that you don't know at this point? And why are you reaching out to the public that you've kept completely in the dark on all of this to help you figure it out? That's the most asinine thing that I think they could possibly put out there to the public.
And they may not be able to figure everything out, but they may have some ideas and some conclusions based on the intelligence operations they've had gone observing this stuff for the longest time.
Well, not that they're going to admit it, but we already know. It's not just a question of they don't know what it is, and they just have some footage of it and some reports, and that's about it. No. We know firsthand, people who have testified under oath, that the government has recovered these objects, recovered bodies, knows full well how long this has been going on, what it's consistent of, the 5 observables, what they're able to do. The government knows all of this. But now we're going to be able to stick it back to them and say, how do you not know about this? Right. How is it you're putting it out there and saying, hey, we have no clue. Can you help us out? Yeah, I can help you out. contact the Department of Energy and the National Laboratory System and ask them what they've been working on for over 80 plus years. Ask them what it is. They could probably tell you better than we can.
Right. Because if there's a craft that they've gotten pieces of or in whole, they'll give the craft and some things to figure out to a contractor like Lockheed Martin. But when it comes down to the energy systems and what powers these things, that's all going to be going deep inside the DOE because it's locked up tighter than Fort Knox for anybody to get access to anything. And they'll keep everything locked away there. You can't do a FOIA. If you want to do a FOIA, you have to get a sign off from the President of the United States, the head of the Department of Energy, and the head of the CIA. All three of them have to sign off on any request to provide that information because this is the same agency and the same rules that they use or even improved on for going ahead and creating the nuclear program that we have, Manhattan Project.
Nuclear secrets. Right.
Yep. So,
and it's completely exempt from any type of congressional oversight. Zero.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where you hide all the secrets.
So let's get back to the second part of this clip, shall we?
Yeah, please.
Here we go.
But I mean, if I could get back to the anal probing.
Odd topic.
It seems like there was a time where they needed to do that to find out about it. Like so many people have this almost the exact same recollection. Now, maybe it's some psychological phenomenon that we don't realize, but people independently seem to have this kind of vague memory, and they lost a little track of time. Maybe it was the GHB. I don't know. But it seemed like the aliens were trying to find out what makes these people tick. Who are these humans? And then I think they got that information. And in the last 10, 20 years, it's not been that. What it's been has been very, very serious people. I'm talking about military people who are constantly saying, we see things we cannot explain.
Actually,
either China has a weapon we don't know about, which is unlikely, or it's just something you're going to have to tell me what it is.
What we've seen in the briefings, and I actually asked this question to Secretary Clinton, as she was actually going to, had she won her election, be in charge of disclosure and actually releasing some of this information. And she thinks that the American people, I think this is one of the most bipartisan things in Congress currently, and bicameral in the Senate as well. But we should be able to release the information that we have specifically pertaining to this and let the American people decide what it is. Look, some of it is balloons, some of it is drones, and then there's a portion of it that we can't explain where you have credible people from all walks of life confirming it. And I will tell you, based on the evidence that we have seen, there's something there.
And credible people, not just in the military, but in government, including Democrats.
I was struck by what President Obama said, and I agree with it. The vastness of the universe is such that the arithmetic makes it pretty likely.
Right.
And the vastness of the universe is such, it's pretty unlikely that we're going to cross paths. And I think that's also true.
Schmuck.
I mean, it seems to, I'm a skeptic, but I like what you're doing, Congresswoman. I think put it all out, let people decide. I'm a skeptic. Maybe you can do.
Well, Bill, I think this gets into a deeper, if you have time, listen to the Joe Rogan podcast I did, but this gets into a deeper discussion on where you're at spiritually. And I think there's just a lot that we have and can't explain. But look, my biggest concern and why I got involved is because I had the Department of Defense at the time tell me that we were not allowed access, and I have the highest clearance possible. So if you have a duly membered elected member of government, not just myself, but other members being denied access, you have this aspect of then who's really in control. If we're writing the checks, if you have the Pentagon failing audits, denying access, this is a problem. And so there is this aspect of government transparency going back to how do we actually fix this country, and you have to start with transparency.
Okay.
Well, that's the end of it, Mike. And I got to bring up on this point, although she has the clearance, right? She has the ability to go ahead and if she thinks to see this stuff. What she doesn't have is what we would call under national security is a need to know.
She doesn't have a need to know clearance. She doesn't have a Q clearance. So she has a TSSCI clearance, but there are limitations even at that level, which we are well aware of. So, no, she doesn't have all the clearances that are necessary to get access from the government on this at all. That was not a correct or accurate statement she made. And as far as we now heard right from her mouth, that when they do put this out publicly, they're going to tell us, we have no idea about any of this. You tell us what it is. That's what the public is going to get. And once they do that, they're going to be read the Riot Act.
Well, she hasn't been right all the time.
No.
Let's see where her inside information takes us. Will it be limited? Are we going to get less? Or are we going to get more? Time will tell on that one.
No, I think we're going to get everything she said that she put out there. They're going to show us what they have as far as the limited information from the FBI. They're going to show us a couple of videos that the public hasn't seen before. And they're going to say, we don't know what this is. Now you figure it out. And then they're going to get read the Riot Act for doing that because that's completely wrong.
Yeah.
And not true. And we're going to call them out for it, as I'm sure a lot of other people will as well.
I certainly
They'll
hope
open
so.
that door. Oh, I know so.
You know, I said it
about this
earlier,
and
I'm
nothing else.
tired of us being treated like fucking mushrooms, kept in the dark and fed nothing but bullshit. We need to start moving forward on this thing.
We do. But to do that, we're going to need real information.
And we're going to need
evidence.
codified policies, not just one president, one time going ahead and saying we're going to release this stuff. We need an executive order that declares it, which we still don't have. On top of that, we're going to need then the House and the Senate to take that executive order, codify it, and turn it into a law.
Which will then hopefully force the government's hand on what they've been keeping secret this whole time.
Yes, for the
That's
future
the
going
goal.
forward.
Right. I don't think Trump will do that.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll issue an executive order. I think that he will declassify certain files that the FBI is in possession of,
Right.
that they receive briefings on, and I think we're going to get to see a taste of that.
Yeah.
That's about it.
But what's going on now is starting to make some waves. We have a new article from Newsweek that just hit today. Anna Polina Luda issued update on UFO files. Very serious. So she's getting a name for this, and more people are covering it. Another one from Disclosure Party, Anna Polina Luna, on what to expect on the upcoming release of the information about UFOs. Quote, every single member of Congress who's gone into the briefing has come out saying, holy shit. And that's from the FBI and the stuff that Aro refused to show the FBI, which is a joke.
Right. Which is why she kept pushing the defund Arrow after that.
Yeah.
Because they are completely useless. They're covering up and burying everything. They're not bringing anything out to the public. How long ago were they supposed to release that report that still we haven't gotten?
A yearly report is about a year overdue, 8 months overdue, and we're supposed to get a yearly report. Every single year we're supposed to get like the report on what they, what they did on their summer vacation. Like from Cheech and Chong.
And that's a matter of law.
Right, as a matter of law. On top of that, they were also directed to go ahead and write the historical UAP report by a certain date, but then they hedged and said, we're going to have volume 1 come out on this date, we're going to have a volume 2 come out on this date. Volume 2, it's over a year and a half, and there's no report. And when Susan Goff, our dear friend who likes to watch all the time, she's a lurker, she's a watcher. You just got to watch out for her, literally. She came back and said nothing new to report.
Right. No updates. No further information coming out. So it's
Oh
almost
shit!
like,
She got me, Mike.
yeah. It's almost like Arrow has completely given up with dealing with the public and following the law that they're mandated to. They've disregarded it.
Andy, your hand is up if I could.
I just want to touch now. I do apologize, obviously, being from the UK. I'm not sure who the host is. I take it is it a national late night show? But
Bill Maher. Go ahead.
Bill Maher has a weekly political talk show for 30 years. It's on HBO. And it's once a week on Fridays. And it's a 1-hour show. And he has all sorts of different political guests and commentators that come on, like Representative Luna and others as well. And this show is not involved really with the topic of UAPs or any type of UAP disclosure.
Yeah.
But he did cover it this time.
Yeah, because I just wanted to, touch on that, this host is talking about the subject. Obviously, you've got Luna on there. And I don't know his leanings towards it, whether he is, interested in the subject, or it's just part of his, interview for the evening. But I found it quite interesting, how this subject is actually touching on the mainstream now, and he didn't make a complete joke of it. There was no X-Files noise, sounds or anything. He cracked a few jokes, which were quite humorous, but actually I thought it shows that how this subject is actually becoming much more mainstream. But actually, he was interviewing Luna in a serious manner, and he seemed to have, read up on his information, or whoever wrote his script did. The fact that this is now, rather than podcasts like ours, it is getting into the mainstream, and it is reaching a lot more people. So,
but less than 1% of the American people watch more than an hour of cable news in a week. So a lot of the stuff that's getting in the mainstream or lamestream media, as it's called, doesn't have the exposure. A lot of people watch alternative news like Disclosure Tonight and other things to bring out the fact. But it's just a matter is, it's just, it's missing from the overall conversation. Now, if I could really quick, as a redirect, I've got a clip here of Tim Burchett, who's been asked about, this is coming from Matt Laszlo over at Askapol. President says he's going to put it out, Burchett, on UFO Disclosure. He hasn't lied to me yet. So let's go ahead and play this clip from good old Tim Burchett, coming from Askapol's. We're a subscriber to him. We pay him every month. He deserves it, my friends. Let's go ahead and play this clip of good old Tim talking about this and on the steps to the Capitol. It's a 30-second clip. Here we go.
Hey, Dave, what's up?
What's up with Aliens.Gov?
I don't know anything about. The president's deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's going to happen. I hope they don't get to him and make him pull back. So that's what's happened in the past. That's what's happened with every report that they've had. They said they're going to bring it out, and then they don't. And then I talked to the president about it. I hope we get an answer.
Do you think, have you gotten signs from the administration of the president that we're going to get disclosure?
The president says he's going to put it out, so he hasn't lied to me yet. Hey, Dave, what's up?
So there we go,
Aliens.Gov?
It sounds promising. I'll take Tim Burchett's word over anybody's. He's about the most honest guy you'll find in D.C. right now. He'll tell you straight up what's going on to your face without even flinching.
And he'll call it out when they fuck up and lie as well. So, yeah,
right.
I trust Tim Burchett on this.
Yeah.
So I believe him. I think we're going to get what Luna said is going to get put out. Burchett is confirming that the president said he would put it out. So at least now we have a good idea of when it does come out, what to expect, what we're going to get.
And really quick, Battle ANI-W2, whatever. Yes, they didn't put up a website. They bought the domain of Alien.gov and Aliens.gov. Interesting, they only registered for 1 year, or they're going to have to renew it every single year versus buying a 5-year registration up front. So we know they're going to have that domain for at least a year. Now, when are we going to get information out of it? That's up to everybody. Yes, that website does not return to any particular website because they haven't put anything at that address. It just resolves to an IP address, or there's nothing there. Does that make sense, Mike?
Makes perfect sense, Thomas.
Yeah.
And if I had to guess, they probably, around the time that the Spielberg film comes out this summer, probably around July, we might get something more on this from the government at that time.
We'd hope.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
So if there's anyone who's traveling, I just have to cover this one. Sorry. This is a funny one. We know that the TSA, who handles security at all the airports, has not been paid for the longest time, for months. They have all these people who are calling in, and they actually even passed yesterday a law stating that no one from Congress is allowed to go ahead and skirt the lines as a VIP. They have to wait in lines with everybody else. Well, this morning, we had two things happen. First, it was actually Elon Musk going and saying, hey, I'll go ahead and write a check to keep these guys going, to unsnarl what's going to happen. And then right at the airports, which he has the money to do it. He's probably one of the only few people in the United States who has the opportunity to do it. Shortly thereafter, Trump put out a Truth Social post saying that, you know what, since we are missing all these people at the airports, I'm going to go ahead and bring in ICE to the airports. To go ahead and handle TSA. Shortly thereafter, we got Chuck Schumer flustered. Gotta play this just because it's hilarious.
But that's an ongoing process. They're meeting today again. But we must fund TSA now.
We must fund ICE. I mean, we must fund TSA now.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess they found the right point to finally hit it to move this things forward. Because think about all the people having to travel, Mike, where they're waiting 5+ hours in line just to get through fucking security at an airport. It's disgusting.
Right. Because they're really short-staffed. The members of TSA who are not getting paid, they have furloughed a lot of them and just told them to stay home. So whoever is showing up at the airports, it's a skeleton crew at best.
Yeah.
So they got to do something, because if you're trying to take air travel anywhere, you're not going to get there.
Yeah. Well,
not anytime soon.
About the stuff in the Gulf. Whoops. The worst possible moment. About 50% of the nitrogen applied to U.S. corn goes in during spring planting. A vessel is loaded in the Persian Gulf today that takes 30 days to reach the U.S. port and another 3 to 4 weeks to reach interim farm markets. The American Farm Bureau Federation sent an urgent letter to the White House on March 9th. What's going to happen is, Mike, the overall cost of the cost is for these fertilizers that they have to use is going out of control.
Well, you know that a lot of the fertilizer that's used all around the world, a large portion of it comes directly out of Iran.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Right. So that is really
it's happening. I'm just going through my tweets. Oh, and we want to go ahead and say thanks for the memories, Alien Girl 111. She's done. I hope you enjoyed the years. Have fun with your other UFO shows. I will be going black after this. For those who know me, I might check my DMs here, but I am throwing the towel in. She's been around, God, if not longer than Disclosure Tonight's been around.
Easily.
Yeah.
A long time. Yeah.
Yeah. What else have we?
She's packing it in. Yeah.
She's packed it in. But then again, we just got word that Japan is to send help to the Strait of Hormuz. They've dispatched Godzilla. Oh, that would be wonderful. You saw Godzilla 0, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, phenomenal. I loved it when he went and he put off the beam, and as he set off the beam, it went off in the distance. It caused a giant nuclear explosion. That was fucking killer.
Yep.
That had me jumping up and down for Godzilla and the people he just killed. All right. Yes. If you saw it last night, we had an aurora borealis, and thanks to a strong axial interplay magnetic field, a BT of -20, and a neutral BZ field, the polar cap magnetic instance was rising like a frickin' racehorse, indicative of magnetic energy convection in the magnetosphere. So we got hit by these solar storms that hit the planet, and it was in the right configuration where it's at a positive, we're at a positive, it hits to us and goes directly in and supercharges the planet.
Right.
Because of that, let's see if there have been some amazing aurora displays. This one, I believe, was Lapland last night. Let me go ahead and move these up a little bit bigger so we can jump through them. Always want to share this kind of stuff. This is absolutely gorgeous stuff. Sorry, Chad, I'm turning you off for a second so we can get through some of these gorgeous pictures. Great purples, unbelievable greens. You get the stuff and everything coming out of it. Let's get back out of this one. Here's another one from Vincent Lavinda coming up out of Canada last night. Absolutely gorgeous. I haven't seen stuff like this in a while. And if it's going to be happening again tonight, if you got clear skies, nope, the blue skies have turned cloudy here again in the United States. We're not going to be seeing beautiful stuff like this, but it was all over the world. However, down in Argentina, Mike, they've seen things flying around in the sky, but you know what it isn't? It's not UFOs. It's one of those things that puts the light around and moves around in the sky. For an event? Yeah, it's not UFOs, folks. Not even close. Now, this one's interesting. On the 16th of March at 12 a.m. Okay, creepy music. Let me bring this up here.
Spotlight that they put up, Thomas?
It's spotlights, yeah.
Holy shit.
It's like the stuff we saw years ago in Wisconsin. Everybody thought it was UFO. So this one took place on March 16th on a live camera. Where is this at? On Mesquite County, Illinois, on March 16th. And they saw this thing in the middle of the night. You know, first thing I want to point out. Oh, shit. Did I crash? I've crashed.
No, you're still alive.
No, I've crashed. OBS just fucked up. When I open this, let me go ahead and... Sorry, audience, if you can still hear me, I promise I'll be right back. Sorry about that, folks. We lost you for a second. There was a brief interruption coming from OBS deciding, as I brought up a video, to go ahead and lock up, at least in my interface. So I may have still been streaming, but I want to get that taken care of. Let's go ahead and play this clip. Now, again, this is going on back in Illinois, just on March 16th, just about 5 days ago. Something seemed to appear in a zipper-like UAP. So we've got this video footage here. Let's get to it and bring it up. Okay, we've got it now. Is this the right one? That's the wrong one. Let me get to frame limited. Turn that off. Okay, so now we've got this moving around. Let's go ahead and play this clip here for everybody. And what I've noticed is there's other things. Turn off the music. We've got the objects showing up over here, but we have other things that are moving around in here that are moving at a regular frame rate. And what we've got is, let's zoom in on this thing that they don't know what the hell this is. It disappears. It reappears, zippers in, goes across, goes out again, and it's gone. They're not sure what the hell this thing was, what they were dealing with, other than there was something going on. And we can see there's movements going like of a train going in the distance. We're not dealing with anything where it's a frame limited situation, but we've got something that's appearing. Let me just get this over here a little bit more brought into it that just doesn't make sense. Is our audience still there? Can they see us?
It's strange, to say the least.
Yeah. All right.
We have 279 people in the audience.
Gotcha. Yep, 278. We got it. Okay, so that was just something that I saw that was like interesting. Who knows what the hell that is, but it definitely looks in a different type of configuration from something that we've seen before. Definitely not swamp gas, friends. Let's see. We've got timber chat. We covered that. We've covered that one. No, we don't need to cover that one. It shows you why. Okay, good reason, Mike, why you don't go to Turkey to get your teeth fixed.
Oh, God.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, smile. I think there's something more than the teeth that need to get fixed there, Mike.
Oh, a lot more. And she's cross-eyed, so yeah. Not
she's got amblyopia. That's okay. A lot of people have stuff like that. My daughter had amblyopia, for that matter. Why did I just lose all my bookmarks? God damn it. Oh, where else are we going through? We're going past that. We're getting to Godzilla. Again, more Aurora Borealis stuff going out. It's absolutely gorgeous. Again, if you have clear skies tonight, we're probably getting hit. We had 3 CMEs go in a row, center of disc, small ones, but heading our way. But the big one tonight should be even better. And here's this other one, Mike. This is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard going ahead and showing us the launch of their new Gadar and Emad medium-range ballistic missiles that they're shooting towards Israel. But I think this is one of the ones that potentially that they are now taking and shooting towards Diego Garcia as well. So they still have some tricks up their sleeves out there. Now, what's interesting about majority of their weaponry, Mike, it's not like regular solid material booster like we had on the space shuttle or like you have on most ICBMs. Everything they have is something that you all have to gas up ahead of time like it's a regular rocket.
Yep.
Some more shots of
we're not shooting them down.
Yeah, some more shots of the gorgeous Aurora Borealis that was going out there. Again, just the light pillars and everything popping up. This is from Hunter. Great stuff, absolutely. All right, we covered that. All right, so we got one more here of Anna Plena Luna. We found this one. Just dropped a bomb about the upcoming UFO files. We've played this one before from Jillian Michaels. We should be safe to go ahead and play it. So let's play this clip of Anna Polina Luna talking about what's ahead.
Peas going back thousands of years. Trump says he's going to declassify. Hegseth says we're going to do it. I don't think anyone's going to do it. Are they going to do it?
No, I think they're very serious about doing it, and I'll
really
I won't get too much into the specifics. Yeah, I definitely think that they're going to do it. You know, what's been interesting is
where to go.
So obviously, there's been footage that my committee released. Actually, it was Eric Burleson that released it, playing it in the committee that we had for the declassification task force, and we can't explain that. And there has been other instances of footage that we cannot explain, and we have dealt with an agency, not the CIA, that specifically has an internal task force that is looking into all this stuff. And as soon as we get the official on paper declassification order, I want to do a press conference with all the information that we are told and shown in that briefing, because it's important for people to know.
There have been claims that we have biologics. If this is declassified, do we see those things? Or
I don't think, I've followed up on we have asked questions or try to get at least as far as we can get on the whole aspect of biologics. But what's been interesting is a lot of people that we will follow up with either end up ghosting us or don't come into the skiff. But then you have the aspects of some of the stuff that we have seen, and every single member of Congress that has gone into that briefing that we had has come out and said, Steve Millings were like, holy shit.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Tom Whitmore, your hand is up, my friend.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm 73 years old, and for the first time in my life, I called both my senators and my congressmen, imploring them to fund the TSA and to end this war.
Nice. Did you get any response?
Well, I left messages on the senators' phones, and I actually talked with a person at the representative, but I didn't really get into a conversation because I didn't want to argue with them or anything.
Yeah.
But I think everyone should at least call. No matter what your opinion is on the war, you should call your Congress people and tell them to open, fund TSA, for crying out loud. It's disgusting.
There's no reason that it should have been shut down like it is, Tom, and it's been going on for way too long. There's a lot of people. They've already lost 10% of their workforce because they can't afford to go ahead and keep on working for free. It's just not fair.
Well, and the thing that I said in all instances was that the government's a fundamental responsibility of the government is to make sure that the trains run on time, so to speak. And they're not doing that. They're not doing their job.
No.
And this business of shutting down the government as a form of leverage has got to stop. I mean, I know we are all concerned about the debt and the deficits and all that, but you've got to keep the government running.
How many shutdowns did we have during the Biden administration? None.
Well, and if I remember correctly, it was the Republicans that started that whole thing, but it needs to stop.
Yeah.
And I told them in my messages, I don't care what your political agendas are. Just, do this immediately.
Yeah. We're at war, and this is also our cybersecurity division of the United States to protect us against cyber attacks. They're shut down as well, Tom. It's not just TSA.
Right.
And it's a shame you have to have the president come out and say, you know what, you're not going to give us TSA at the airports. We'll bring ICE in because they're fully funded to 2029.
I don't know how that's going to work because they're not trained to be TSA people.
Well, it shouldn't take too long. Usual onboarding. But at least it's someone physically to be there to try and move the lines along and do their jobs as ICE officers, which will make traveling for a lot of people very interesting.
Yeah, it sure will. I hope they're not wearing masks. That seems to be the whole argument.
Yeah. But they were the ones who forced everyone to wear masks during COVID, so they're getting something back that they wanted so much.
Right. So I encourage everyone, call your Congress people and tell them to get this show on the road.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more, Tom. Great point. Thank you.
So there's some interesting stuff. You're definitely going to see a lot of interesting footage, a lot of photos, firsthand accounts from certain people that will be out in those reports. And then the American people can decide if you think that it's...
Well, we're going to get photos and we're going to get firsthand accounts. Where the fuck are those high definition videos, Mike? How can she be settling for that and being happy with it?
Because she is, because she was happy to get whatever she can. And she already just confirmed that it's not the CIA. It's another agency with its own internal task force. We already know that's the FBI. And she also said, we're going to get accounts of people. And one of the reasons when Gillian Michaels asked her about biologics, she said that there were people who didn't show up in skips. And we were not able to get that information. So that's another shot at Lou coming from her.
Yeah.
After all this time. She hasn't let anything go.
A scorned woman has no fury, my friend.
Hell hath no fury.
Fury like
That's
a woman
right.
scorned, yes.
Yeah. That's what it is. So she's again clarifying when they declassify this, when they make it public, when they have this press conference that she's going to be doing, we are going to be shown things that they're going to claim they do not know what it is, and they'll leave the public up to figure out what it might be.
Let's hope they don't put it out with a bunch of bullshit freaking balloons and swamp gas that they've already resolved.
Oh, you mean the stuff that sometimes pops up in the National Archives after a data dump like this? Yeah.
Mike, run with this for a second. I'll be right back. Emergency.
Yeah. Well, we know Arrow is famous for putting out alleged information of the work they've been doing, and all we got were balloons in the sky. It's insulting. With a disclosure dump that this is supposed to be, with declassification coming directly from the president about this, we shouldn't be getting prosaic information or materials, not at all. But she's also been piping up and pushing how when they got the briefing in Congress from the FBI's task force, how blown away they were with this information and how it was obvious to them it could not be explained. So they can't deviate from that at that point because people would be wanting someone's head for doing that. They can't put balloons or aircraft or anything prosaic out there and say, well, this is part of what we've recovered. We only want to see what they can't explain. Like, that's Arrow's job. Arrow's mandate is not to show us prosaic materials of what they've readily identified. Instead, it was supposed to only focus on what they can't identify.
If they're investigating something and they have any whiff of GIF that this what we're dealing with here is prosaic, they're supposed to stop investigating it and pass it on to a different agency within the DoD. That's their mandate.
It is. That is their mission statement. But we haven't gotten anything like that since they've been in operation. So I hope when we do get this disclosure data dump that the president has officially declassified, they better not put anything like that in there, because we now know what little information they will make public. It isn't going to give us any clue or any identity as to these objects, what they are, where they come from, and who's in them.
So we're not going to see the video that Lou talked about where you could see the video, but you could also see the occupancy of the craft, meaning you can see the occupants within the craft. We're not going to see that.
Oh, fuck no. Yeah. They're not going to give us anything of substance or anything that would be any type of proof to the existence of alien biologics and technology.
Well,
which is what we all have been waiting for.
We're all waiting for, Mike. We'd all love to see.
Right, we would, but now Luna has given us some insight into what they're not going to be giving us.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because look, it's still, as much as I hate to say this, what little it will be, and we now know exactly how little it's going to be, and it isn't going to give us any insight as to what is going on. But that being said, it's still going to be more of an acknowledgement from the government on this subject than we've ever gotten before in the past.
Correct. Which has been complete denial.
Right.
So we go from denial to acknowledgement.
Right. That's what we're going to get, acknowledgement. And
and that brings us into the 12-step program. Oh, if we can, Zaria, you have your hand up in the back?
Hi, it's Sarah. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
We got you clear.
Yeah, we hear you just fine.
Okay, I'm new. So I just wanted to kind of go back to the drone. Sorry, it took me a while to figure out how to put my hand up. But anyhow, I know when these drones were going over New Jersey back in 2024, I live in Stony Creek, Ontario, in Canada.
Yeah.
On a mountain in farmland, and I've seen the drones there too. And I've seen fireballs come out of nowhere and then disappear. I've had a gray alien fly right up to me, and I ran back a few leaps because I was so startled, and then it retreated back to its original kind of area that it was just kind of almost surfing around on in the air. I have seen a Bigfoot. I have seen other aliens, spindly looking aliens in black PVC bodysuits come out of a portal that then turned into a car. I know this sounds crazy, and I have a lot of videos, I have a lot of photos, but I have a shaky hand. I'm not a professional, and they can affect the quality of your video and photo as well. And also you can capture things that you can't see with the naked eye, right? As well, I've seen a plethora of different non-human intelligence men that look like they're on a superhero or romance novel cover, with long hair and big muscles and strong jawlines.
Tall whites, yeah.
I've seen, like, what can I tell you? The insect-looking ones.
Oh, the mantis.
The grays. Sorry, I'm just a lot. And I was living there temporarily, so for 8 months straight, I would see these things every single day. That's all I just wanted to share with you. And that this started to happen. Like, I've seen UFOs here and there throughout my life, but the fact that this was just full throttle, like a carnival of, UFO aliens. And then these drones they would be flying by at a steady, slow pace, see me, turn and look at me, come a little bit towards me, then retract back and often continue on their path. But there was one that actually changed their path and went back. And anyway, it's just a lot of crazy stuff. So that's all I just wanted to share.
Well, thanks for stopping in and sharing. We appreciate that.
Yeah, you have no problem. Thanks. Good luck with the rest of your channel and your endeavors.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. Mike?
Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Zara.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Gorgeous stuff going on. Mike, what a great show. What a great opportunity to hang out with friends. I'm just going ahead through some of the pictures that I was going last night and retweeting as the solar storm hit. But like we're usually here in Washington State, we're completely clouded in, so we're not going to be seeing any of this great stuff. So I am an armchair aurora enthusiast, and last night did not, if you want to call it, disappoint. There were sightings all the way down to Kansas last night, Mike. They were picking this stuff up. It was just amazing.
It is amazing. Those are fantastic pictures. Nice colors. It's nature and its glory, in all its glory.
God, yeah. Exactly. On that note, if I can find it here, let me go ahead and bring it up. All right, there we go, friends. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. We got a super chat in from Brandon England. Thank you very much, Brandon. We appreciate that super chat. Cheers, Thomas and Mike. Mike, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Australian $10 for what you can do here, for what we do here at Disclosure tonight. We're a fan-funded program. We appreciate everybody's ongoing support, and thanks for showing up, everybody. It makes it great to see what we can get. Over 300 people hanging out for the live show. We've had over 2,000 people through the studio tonight. It's been phenomenal. Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks for being here and part of this.
My pleasure, Thomas. Thank you for putting it all together. Great
Absolutely.
job.
And as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everybody. But absolutely, we'll catch you on the flip side. Good night, everybody. See you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.